Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports and Stuff. I am your host, the number one Vikings fan extraordinaire, Adam Boyer. Great to see you all again. Today, we should have a very fun video. My number two favorite team, I'm predicting their record. I am, of course, talking about the Minnesota Vikings. I will say last year I was vastly disappointed in the Vikings, not their offense so much, rather their defense. Mike Zimmer himself said that it was the worst defense he had ever coached. However, I'm hoping we added some talent in the draft, which I really think we did, and then of course we got a lot of signings for the defense and players returning that were injured or opted out, like Anthony Barr, Michael Pierce, Eric Kendricks, and all those sorts of fellas back. And all those sorts of fellas and all those folks. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. We are not going to be doing preseason for this one for the sake of video length. However, I will be doing all 17 games of the regular season. So, enjoy. Okay, of course, we start off with week 1, where we take on the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. So the Bengals are an intriguing team. They're still rebuilding, but they're close. Their offense, I think if Burrow gets healthy, stays healthy, and grows in year 2, is going to be pretty good. Joe Mixon's a good running back. It's just, can their O-line hold up? I don't think they addressed that quite as much as I would have liked them to if I had been a Bengals fan. And their defense still needs a lot of work. So, while I think they can be competitive in this game, I'm going to give without too much hesitation the win for the Vikings. Moving on to week 2, we take on, once again on the road, the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, this is tough because the Cardinals, their offense is going to be so explosive this year. They did release Larry Fitzgerald, but they replaced him with A.J. Green, another aging veteran, but I think A.J. Green is younger. Yeah, he's younger than Larry Fitzgerald, and still a serviceable number 2 or 3 receiver. Their offense should be really good. I think Murray's going to do really well in year 3. Some people are thinking Murray may even be MVP candidate. The Cardinals' defense still needs work, definitely. But it's not terrible. I think I'd put it kind of middle of the pack. And because it's on the road and it's their second road game in a row, I'm going to give the Vikings a loss. Not necessarily because I think the Cardinals are the better team here, rather just because of all the circumstances that I've listed. And the Cardinals, I think the two teams are about on the same level, but I think the Cardinals are going to get the edge out with the victory here. Week 3, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Finally, we are playing the Seahawks at home. As I explained in my first video, I hate the Seahawks. I gave Washington a loss against them. I am not going to give the Vikings a loss at home. Our first home game. Crowd's back. Energy's high. Win for the Seattle Seahawks. So far, we are 2-1. The Seahawks game, by the way, was the first of 3 in a row home games for us. Week 4, taking on the Cleveland Browns at home. Here's the thing. I think Cleveland's D-line might stop the running game. If they do, then it comes down to a big game that is needed from Kirk Cousins, which he's very capable of having. But often when the ground game doesn't do well, the passing game doesn't do so hot because teams send a ton of blitzers against the O-line and tee off on Cousins. Also, the Browns are just so stacked on offense, especially in the running game, with a great offensive line. There's several factors that could play in here, and I think this game could go either way, but I'm going to give the victory to the Browns in this one. So far, we are 2-2 on the year. Okay, at home versus the Lions. The Lions this offseason got even worse. They lost Matthew Stafford. Now, I'm not saying the Lions had a bad trade, so don't get mad at me here, Lions fans. I don't think the trade was bad, but as far as overall worth of your team right now, as far as talent and players, you just went down even more. But I don't think it was a bad trade. So I'm going to give a win for the Lions. For the Vikings. I just made your hearts jump out there, all you Vikings fans, didn't I? Okay, week 6. Taking on the Panthers on the road. I don't know what to expect from the Panthers this year. If Sam Darnold's their starting quarterback, I don't expect a lot. He may flourish in Matt Rule's system, but also he might very possibly not flourish. So, I'm not sure how their offense is going to do. We'll see if CMC can stay healthy, but for now, I'm going to be giving the Vikings another win, bumping our record up to 4-2. And then week 7, we get a nice bye week. So, chance to rest up, hopefully after a win. Confidence should be high. Body should have time to heal. Leading us in to week 8, where we get to take on the Dallas Cowboys at home. Dallas, the team that narrowly beat us last year. They're going to be really good this year, but it's in Minnesota. Vikings just came off a bye week. They've got momentum. I'm going to give the Vikings another W. Okay, at Ravens next week. That's going to be an awfully tight game. I think the Ravens are going to barely edge out. They're a very well-rounded team, especially since they added some talent in the draft. As far as receivers go, I'm going to give the Ravens the win, bumping their record down to, I believe that is, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 3. Okay, next week at the Chargers. The Chargers, I think, are going to be pretty good this year. To me, it all comes down to their defense. Is their defense going to do well enough? Which they should, considering the secondary they have. Last year, though, they really underperformed. And I think the Vikings' defense, mind you, I'm saying, is much better than it was last year. And I think it's good enough to slow down Justin Herbert and the offense. So I'm going to be giving the Vikings a win, bumping the record up to 6-3. Moving on to week, I believe this is 11. Yes, it is 11. Taking on the Green Bay Packers at home. We split games with them last year, and we were bad. We're going to be much better this year. I think we're going to get the win here at home. Okay, at 49ers in the next week. The 49ers are going to be so much instrumentally better this year if they can stay healthy. I expect them to be really good in San Francisco. This one, I think, is going to be a loss. So, we are at week
1 eternity later.
That was week 12, and we are currently at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 4 record.
Is that your final answer?
Pretty solid. Moving on to week, I believe this is 13. Hopefully I'm getting this right, because this is not marked the week, so I'm just kind of counting here and hoping I get this right. We are currently 7-4. Now, we take on the Lions. I already talked about the Lions. I don't think it's going to matter that it's in Detroit. That should be another win, bumping us up to 8-4 on the year. Okay, week. I'm not going to bother counting all that again. The next week. We are taking on the Steelers at home. The Steelers are a team I think are going to take a step down this year. You saw how they tanked at the end of last year. Their defense should still be okay, but I expect their offense to take a step back. They lost some players on the O-line. They still probably aren't going to have much of a running game, although maybe with Najee Harris. Maybe. We'll see how well he does. And then I expect Ben Roethlisberger to take a step back, so that's going to be another win, bumping us up to 9-4. Good-looking record so far. At the Bears. The question's going to be here, who is starting? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Is it going to be Andy Dalton? Week 15. I think it's probably going to be Fields by this point, unless Dalton does really good unexpectedly with the Bears. However, Fields is still going to be kind of working his way into the system. Is the Bears' defense going to be as good as it was last year? I don't know. Like I said, or like the Steelers, they had a good start last year, but they really tanked. So, man, this is a tough one. This one could go either way. For now, I'm going to be giving the Vikings the win, bumping them up to 10-4, giving them 3 consecutive wins in a row. Okay, week 16 at home versus the Rams. The Rams, I think, are going to be a really good team this year. Don't put them out of contention for the Super Bowl. At least, certainly not getting to the NFC Championship game. I think the Vikings are going to lose here, falling to 10-5 now, snapping their winning streak. And then we're at Green Bay. The question is here, is Aaron Rodgers playing? I think he's going to be. That's going to be a loss on the road. And then we end it at home versus the Bears. They could potentially need this game for some seeding, playoff seeding. They already beat them away, and while the Vikings don't have the best track record against the Bears in recent years, I'm going to give them the win, finishing them off the final in the season of
6 hours later.
11-6. Much better than last year, slightly better than 2 years ago when they went 10-6. Hopefully they make a reasonably deep playoff run. But yeah, I'd be very pleased with a record like that. I'd even be okay with 10-7, but I think 11-6 would be about the lowest I want to see the Vikings do. I have high expectations for them this year. But anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching. If you would like the video, share it with somebody else you think might enjoy it. That'd be very helpful. And then if you want to leave a comment and tell me if you agree or disagree with the predictions and why, feel free to do that as well. And of course, please subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. I am the Vikings fan. So long for now.